Hey team, hi, good evening, and welcome to the session. It's Thursday again, and here we are with the resume preparation session. Now, we all know every Thursday at 7 p.m. we have resume preparation session. You remember during your demo, we always say we have exclusive resume preparation session. Well, this is just a part of it. We do have exclusive resume preparation session, and you will see that once you finish your topic, once you finish your course, right? Now, topic for today is the employment gaps and career transition. What are your resume strategies, or what should be your resume strategies? You know, navigating through it is very important. Navigating through employment gaps and career transitions, all those things are very important, and we'll see how to do that. Now, if you're not from data science background, of course, there's very high chance if you're watching this, you're not from data science background, and you want to make sure that if you have employment gaps or career transition, you navigate through it and you present that in your resume in a very, very proper way. Right. Now, so let's start with the session. Wait, before we start, I request you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And yes, while you're watching this video, please like this video and share it with your friends. So friends, let's start. So let's talk about the agenda for today. We'll understand what employment gaps and career changes are. We'll talk about strategies for addressing employment gaps. We'll talk about strategies for addressing career changes, how to mention resume gaps, gaps in resume, of course, addressing other potential red flags. We'll see what are the other potential red flags, right? Also, we'll see how to prepare for interviews and key takeaways and next steps. Now, understanding employment gaps and career changes. Now, there are resume gaps. There are gaps in resume for various reasons. For example, this personal health, family care, education, travel, career breaks. Of course, there can be many common reasons. Now, again, there can be other reasons too. For example, desire for new challenges. Maybe that may happen that you are in a particular field and you clearly see that it's not challenging anymore, right? It used to be very thrilling initially, but it's not challenging anymore. And you want to change the industry. You desire for new challenges. Clearly, you'll through industry shifts regarding your personal interest too. You can do that. Or employer concerns. Again, there may be skill degradation. There can be reliability concern. There can be commitment issues, adaptability, all these things. So, what are the impact these things have on resume? Well, these are potential red flags. And when we are talking about potential red flags, they need clear explanations. Yes, clear explanations. We do need that. Of course, everything can be taken into consideration, but your reason should be proper. Right. Now we'll talk about it, how to address these things. Now, strategies for addressing employment gaps. First of all, be honest and transparent. Since we were kids, we have heard these quotations a lot. We have heard this quote a lot, right? Honesty is the best policy. Well, it applies here too. This is no other field, right? This is your career. Now, clearly state the reason for the gap. Don't lie in your resume. Clearly, be it resume, be it interview, be very, very clear about it. Right? And be clear with the explanation too. Use concise and factual explanations. Of course, we have discussed that. Now, during that period, you must have done something. See, whatever you're doing, whatever work you're doing, never goes to vain. You actually learn so many things that can be used from other industry to this industry, or during your gap, whatever you learned, it can be used here. For example, again, you must have done some volunteering. You must have done some freelance work. or personal projects. Well, these are very much valid, right? Now, you must have done some courses or certifications. You must have completed that during the gap, right? Now, you must show this all these things. You must showcase your skill development from the last company to this company. What is skill development did you do? You need to show that in your resume. And yes, a regular learner is always preferred, right? Now, make sure whatever your skill upgradation you're done or whatever skill development you're done, you connect that to the job you're applying for. Of course, if you have learned something that is not at all applicable for a job, they won't even consider your resume for other things. Forget about employment gap. That is a thing that won't be even considered. Now, we need to use a functional resume format. Now, what functional resume format means? Well, there are two type of formats. One is chronological format and one is functional resume format. Chronological format, it's for someone who's constantly going for things, constantly doing one or the other job, who has no gap. But functional resume actually hides your gap and you showcase your skill and showcase your work there rather than going through that complete time. You need to focus on skills and experiences rather than chronological order. We talked about it, right? Now, we need to make sure that we group similar skills together for emphasis. Now, emphasize the transferable skills. Now, there are some skills which are transferable. For example, leadership quality. If we talk about soft skills, well, critical thinking, leadership qualities, right? Again, all these qualities are developed slowly and steadily. Maybe you're volunteering and you must have developed that. Showcase that. It doesn't matter which industry you belong to. Leadership skills matter, right? Now, make sure that you provide enough examples to show how you use this skill in your previous job or how you can use this skill in this current job. And yes, tailor your resume to the new career. Again, mention skills, right? Relevant experiences, whatever experiences you had. Mention skills and whatever achievement you have related to this field, right? And yes, explain your motivation. This is very, very important. For example, you have career gap and you can showcase in your resume. You need to clearly state why you're making the change, what actually propelled you to make that change. Well, when you are very, very secure about these things and you are very, very clear about these things, it won't matter much. Make sure you're aligning your career goals with the new industry. And that's why you are entering in this industry, right? Exactly. Make sure you talk about professional development too. Mention additional training, certifications, or education. Whatever you've done, please make sure that you mention that. You need to show commitment to learning and adapting. Again, as we discussed, regular learners or people who prefer learning are always preferred. It's technology world, for example. If you talk about data science, if you're watching this, probably you're a data scientist or data analyst or planning to be one. Now make sure that you show commitment to learning. This field, for example, data science has grown like anything. There's constant learning that's needed here. This field is rapidly evolving. For example, generative AI is here. It wasn't there a few years ago, but now it's very, very important, right? Now, how to mention gaps in your resume. For example, you have got an employment gap. Maybe you are with your family. So you must have learned something. You have managed household and caregiving responsibilities. You develop time management and organizational skill. Well, it's very, very important. You must have engaged in different online courses just to upskill yourself. Career change example for sure. Maybe you are a marketing coordinator, and from that job you are getting transferred or you are upgrading yourself to data analyst. What you did in previous role, where you analyze market trends and consumer data, and that's the reason you were very much interested in data analytics, and this data world actually excites you a lot. So you make sure that you mention all these things very, very clearly. You develop strong analytical and data interpretation skills, right? And of course, you completed certificate completion, right? Completed certificate in data analysis. Well, it gives a boost to your resume. Now, let's talk about other potential red flags. Frequent job changes. Now, people think that changing jobs frequently actually is really very much useful. But let's just face it, it shows lack of loyalty to your employer, to your work, to your commitment. You need to emphasize the skills and experiences gained. And we need to make sure that you highlight short-term achievements. There can be lack of progression. If you are in the same, excuse me, you're at the same level for many years, you need to make sure that if that is there, if that thing is there, you need to clearly come up with explanation. You need to focus on lateral moves and skill acquisition. Acquire as much skills as you can and show continuous learning and development. You might be having unrelated job experience. Well, as we discussed, emphasize transferable job skills and those achievements. Again, example, leadership quality, critical thinking, all those things. Relate experiences to the job that you're applying for. Previous experiences, whatever you have, you can relate to that. Inconsistent employment history. Again, you must have done some employment and then applied for somewhere else, but you got gap in your resume. You need to make sure that you come up with all the explanation. You need to make sure that you use a professional summary to explain career trajectory and frame experiences positively, focusing on growth. You need to make sure that you focus on growth, right? Now, let's talk about preparing for interviews. Make sure that if you have resume gaps, you practice your narrative again and again. You need to be very, very clear why you have gaps and changes in your resume. And you need to make sure that you clearly explain that and confidently, of course. Confidently, you need to explain that. You must have learned something, right? You need to take positive language to frame your experiences. You need to make sure about that. You need to highlight your growth. You need to discuss your skill and knowledge gained during gaps or transition. You need to provide examples of how these knowledge or transitions or whatever knowledge you gain or skills you gain, how they have prepared you for that particular role. Anticipate questions. Whenever you're preparing for interview, you know there can be many questions that can be easily anticipated, right? Now, anticipate questions and prepare for those common questions that may be about your employment history. Well, prepare for that. Make sure you have clear, concise, and honest answer ready. You need to focus on future. You need to talk about your enthusiasm to get into a new industry and why you're so enthusiastic about it. You need to align your goals with companies' objectives. Now, this is very, very important. If you have company's objective given, you need to make sure that you align your goals accordingly. Now, let's talk about key takeaways and next steps. Key takeaways, again, address gaps and changes with honesty and strategic presentation. Need to make sure that you strategize all these things. You need to highlight relevant skills, professional development, and positive framing. Then let's talk about next step. Make sure you're reviewing your resume and updating your resume with these strategies. And of course, need to find a mentor for the same and make sure that you Practice along with that mentor. Ask that mentor what you can do. You need to practice explaining the employment gap and career changes in interview. Right. Now, when we're talking about interviews, we know we are talking about job portals too. Let's talk about a few famous job portals. That can be Naukri.com, Shine.com. Here are a few famous job portals that we have. Talking about data science jobs now, a few famous Google search results are here. Now, there are data science job vacancies in India, and a lot of it, right? You need to make sure that you apply to these jobs and get into one. Now, keywords for data science resume. Their technical skills and tools, analytical skills, business understanding, data management, and soft skills. These are various skills we have. You can use these skills and attach them to your resume to make it better. Talk about frequently asked questions. There are questions that are asked frequently. For example, tell me about the time you worked as a part of a team. They want to see, are you a good team member? How you are as as a team member? How do you properize your work when you have multiple deadlines to meet? How do you stay updated with the latest trends in industry? How do you handle disagreement with coworker? And what do you do if you make a mistake that no one else noticed? What do you do then? We need to check, right? We need to ponder upon this question. Now, Vincent van Gogh said it loud and clear when he said, "Be clearly aware of stars and infinity on high. The life seems almost enchanted after all." Yes, it's very much important to make sure that we are alive, right? Now, talking about our contact, you can call us on our toll-free number, that's 1-800-212-654-321. You can mail us at inquiry@360DTMG.com 360 and visit our website 360DTMG.com. Of course, we'll be visiting there too. Right now, after this, we have many things for you. We'll be visiting there too. We have offline centers at Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, and of course, there are many locations. If you are watching this video right now, I request you to pause it and scan this QR code and go to our LinkedIn, go to our Instagram account and follow that. Follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, and yes, follow us on LinkedIn too. Talking about our accreditation to international certification bodies, well, we have accreditation to Microsoft, State University of New York, Future Skill Prime, Panasonic, and TCS-IN. Now, from here, let me take this opportunity to take you to the things that we offer free of cost, of course. Now, when you go to 360DTMG website, let me take you there. When we talk about these things, okay, let me take you to 360DTMG website. This is what our website looks like. Right. Now, here in our website, we partner with industry leaders. We have popular courses, right? You can see our courses. We have domain analytics videos or domain analytics courses here. A lot of courses we have. We have 76 plus domain analytics we have fields here. Talk about our differentiators. You can read about us. You can see the alumni, what our alumni say. You can see career transition. Now, these people were there having employment gaps or changing the field, right? These people navigated through it. And yes, you will navigate it through it too, right? Now, there are many accounts like this. You can connect them on LinkedIn. And our alumni, as we discussed, work at different big companies. Excuse me. Now, let me take you to one of the best things we feel, mind maps. Mind maps are really good things we have. This is something that you should use for internalization of concepts. Well, you can use mind maps every single day. We actually suggest our students to read it thrice a day. You can come here, visit our website, and use mind maps. Now, when we are talking about website, let me go to the learning resources page. Now, here we have plethora of material for you. and that's free. You can be part of my learning burst, right? Now, there will be data science free internship program. There will be decision tree and ensemble technique and weekends and yes, data science free internship program we have. That's tomorrow at 7 p.m. You will get to know about it. There are core learning resources, for example, for skill development and enhancement. We have digital learning library. You can dive into it. You can see it's really, really good book. Be deep learning, machine learning, be data science concept. You can read about it. See primary data source, secondary data source, all these things. We all know these are very, very important, right? We have AI design studio for machine learning. We have data skill assessment test. We'll be talking about this. We'll talk about career advancement and professional growth. We have resume optimization hub. We have talent correction portal for conceptual understanding and insightful learning. We have strategic learning maps, innovative project showcase, innovative insight series. All these things we have for you. Now, let me take you to resume mapper, or we call it resume optimization hub now. Resume optimizer. Now, here you upload your resume and you upload your job description and compare them. For example, you click here, you have upload your resume here. For example, I'm taking intern's resume, uploading job description here, for example, using a file, job description. Now, we need to compare like this. Again, we have compared it and we are getting job matching result for 58.33%, for example. Here we have skills required, job required skills missing in resume, job required skills present in resume. And if you want to generate cover letter or improve your resume, how to improve? You can select missing skills to add to your resume, you can generate your resume, or we talk about any skill, for example, Python, and click here for the interview questions. There you go. You can wait for a while, explore our helpful resources, and yes, prepare for them after these appear. Till that time, you can read about our success stories, right? Now, interview questions we have here. There are a lot of interview questions. Yes, there are a lot of questions. We don't need to go anywhere. You click on any topic, go for interview questions. We can get interview questions. Now, you can generate cover letter too. Of course, you make sure that you fill all these for all these things to generate a cover letter. You can generate your resume too. You need to make sure that you click on the missing skill. For example, this, and this I take, or good knowledge on EDA, for example. Generate resume. We wait for some time and we generate our resume. Now, of course, still the time is loading. Let us go back to show you one more thing. This is again a project architecture, what we call project architecture. Again, this is AI design studio for machine learning. Here you can make a complete project architecture from end to end. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner, if you're an intermediate person with intermediate knowledge or advanced knowledge, you want someone who has actually excelled in his field, in this data science field. We have basically architecture, again, right from the data source to the end customer, to monitoring, maintenance, everything we have. Now think of it, you as a beginner having knowledge of such detailed project architecture. Won't that be really, really good? Won't your recruiter will be very, very impressed? Will be impressed, right? Exactly. So now we have a plethora of things for you. Let's just go and check if we have ready or not. Now see this. You can fill these things when you talk about filling these things in your resume. You can fill these forms here. Add more projects, whatever you want. You can add more and select the template. Once you select the template, you get all these things. Of course, you need to fill all these things first, and then you generate your resume. Now, this is very, very convenient, very easy to get your resume ready, right? And this is all for free, completely free of cost. This is what we have for you. We don't charge for all these things. We have a lot of freebies for 360DigiTMG to the data community. We have all for you, right? Now, when you are here, I again request you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you are watching this on YouTube channel, of course you are watching this on YouTube channel, go to the playlist section and you will see plethora of knowledge there. There we have regular videos, there we have again various sessions, talk about master classes, right? There's so many things. Resume method section, we have project explanation. When we talk about our project that we are doing, we have, for example, various things. Again, we have generative AI sessions. We have a research publication where our students who get their research published, they clearly come there and showcase their paper and showcase their certificates too. Right now, all these things are free of cost for you. You can be the part of our research project, right? You can publish your own research paper once you join here at 360DTMG. And of course, you work in a really good way during your project phase. Okay, team. Now, I hope you enjoyed this session and everything is very clear. We'll meet again the next week with a new content, freshly brewed content. And yes, we'll rock the session again. Till that time, take care, team. Happy weekend. And yes, good night. Bye.